the London family at home. Brian, Mandy, Jenny and Izzy. And this is what they like doing most. So, Brian, who are you now?
I'm Captain London of St Thomas Lancers Regiment of Foot in the service of the King.
Why, my lady, 'tis the year 1648 by the grace of our Lord. Where are you off to?
We are off to Colchester for a very important event, my lady.
That very important event was the 350th anniversary of the Siege of Colchester during the English Civil War, a great date in the Anglican calendar. A weekend in June was devoted to reconstructing the historic occasion when supporters of King Charles I, the Royalists, were besieged inside the walled town by Oliver Cromwell's parliamentarian army. This is the day before the Great Siege, and people are arriving from all over the country. Up to 2,000 are expected, and they're all going to set up camp here in these water meadows at the edge of town. They all arrive in the 20th century, but over the next few hours they'll gradually drift back 350 years to 1648. It's a gradual process which requires a certain amount of beer. There's more to putting on a good battle than ale and costumes. For a start, you must know who you are and who is your enemy. Some of the earliest arrivals were the cavalry. So while Mina was chatting up some cavaliers, I went over to the horse box to find out what role the horses would be playing.
The horses originally in the 17th century were used to break up the blocks of musketeers or pikemen, and you probably will see tomorrow that the soldiers deliberately ride towards a group of foot soldiers, the idea being to scatter them so that they're less effective, and then of course you can ride in and cut them down as, well, just as you please.
Now, do the horses enjoy it? Because a lot of people would think they're here against their will. And
I think the first time out is always a bit nerve-wracking for a horse. You get the one that sort of stands back and cries, oh no, I'm not going too near. But once they've done it once or twice, you try keeping them out. It's much more difficult than getting them to go in. Yes, they do. Because they're running as a pack, and a horse is naturally a pack animal, they thoroughly enjoy the hurly-burly of it.
Equally eager for the hurly-burly were Simon and Jackie Downham, who are both members of Cromwell's parliamentarian army.
We're a little bit busy at the moment. We've got here a bit late and everyone's drinking already, so we're going to get our tent up so we can relax and have a few beers ourselves.
The English Civil War Society like everything to be authentic. Obviously women didn't fight in those days, so if you want to fight in the field as a woman, you have to dress as a man.
See?
I didn't do that really.
I'm actually a pikeman. I carry a 16-foot pike with a spike on the top. It was very heavy. It would have been used to repel the cavalry, protect the musketeers. And away we go. Yeah. I've been doing it only about 4 or 5 years now, so it's all quite new to it. There's people been in for 20, 25 years, you know. So it's definitely got something, that X factor that brings everyone back every time.
Colchester's well known for its Roman history rather than its part in the English Civil War. The town's special historian, Dick Barton, told me why the siege happened. So Dick, where are we now?
Well, we're near the Roman wall, part of the Roman wall that was built around Colchester, and the wall was kept intact for many hundreds of years, and it's one of the reasons why the Royalists, of course, were able to lock themselves inside Colchester so easily. We had a town wall with gates that were still locked at night time. Well, this is called the Siege House now, but it's one of the houses that has survived the siege. They say there was lots and lots of fighting down here, and you can see the bullet holes where the musket balls went into the timber all the way along this building. Lots and lots of them. Because what the Royalists attempted to do was to keep a road open to the north and the west in order to raid the countryside and farms and bring food back.
Beside the castle, market stalls appeared selling authentic period arts and crafts.
Good sir, do you drink smoke?
Among the characters, a genuine 17th century commentator, Mad Jack Green.
Silver balls, sir! Silver balls for shooting witches. I myself have seen a witch shot with a silver ball, and she died upon the instant.
The ordinary folk of Colchester supported Cromwell's Parliament rather than King Charles's royalist troops, who had taken over their town.
Charles I must fall! Come and knock him down! Brilliant! Well done!
The history fair set up the feelings during those turbulent times.
For the devil is waiting for all good Christians who trip and falter on the Sabbath to go down to hell.
I fought for Parliament, I fought in the name of the Lord, sir. And you think the Lord would even begrudge me one small ale, even though it be on the Sabbath, one small ale? Penny for charity, sir, penny for charity. Wounded at Marston Moor. Oh, bless ye, sir, bless ye, sir.
We live by our wits and by the charity of good people such as yourselves.
That living dies, that living dies.
This town hath become subject to the barbarous tyranny of a company of malignant and bloody murdering robbers, calling themselves by the name of Royalists.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. They say that Humpty Dumpty was a small cannon that was perched on top of St Mary's church tower, manned by a one-eyed royalist sniper. He had the parliamentarian forces pinned down until they got a bigger cannon and shot him down. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Back at camp, the two armies were making themselves comfortable. It was hard to believe that the next day royalists would be at the throats of parliamentarians like Simon and Jackie.
You come here, you can leave everything in your tent, you know, everyone's friendly, you never get any problems, everyone's sort of trustworthy, and you know, you don't ever have any problems, and whenever you need anything, somebody will be here. We've come here before and forgot a sleeping bag, and we've had 9 people turn up at the tent with blankets that we didn't even know, you know, so it's like that, you know, which is really nice.
We'll make some really good friends along the way as well.
Hello.
Hello there.
Who are you?
I'm Alison.
Hello, Alison. And what are we here?
This is a canvas tent, one of the authentic tents that you'll see on the site. There's quite a few. We've got candle boxes with candles, plates, authentic knives and forks, which we use. This is a 15th century copy, so it can be used 17th century. And of course, 17th century forks that don't have a middle prong. They didn't get middle prongs until about the 18th century.
This bed looks extremely comfortable.
Do you want to sit on it?
Yeah.
Please do. This is
what
the
do you
piece is
Oh, it's very comfy.
I know, it's got several sort of mattresses. It's got 2 mattresses, very modern sleeping bag inside quilts and quilts.
I think they'd have a feather bed and everything on
They would have. What they used to use is a thing called a palliasse, which was a big sack bag which they used to fill with straw or hedgerow. So wherever they went, they just picked up fresh stuffing and put it in and slept for it for the night and then got rid of it the next day.
Just before dusk, my royalist friends, the Londons, arrived. Are you looking forward to it?
I think so, yes. Yes, providing the weather stays nice and we don't get too wet.
So what happens now? Pitch camp and then carry on saying hello to everyone.
It is fun to do, fun to take part in. As I say, there's a social side to it. What you see on a battlefield lasts for an hour and a half. The rest of the weekend is, generally speaking, a social event.
It's party time.
As the sun set, hundreds of happy campers headed for the biggest tent of them all. This was an authentic historical party for peacocks who like flaunting their beards and hats. The only rule of entry was period costume, which I hadn't got, so I spent a peaceful evening on the other side of camp. Night has fallen. It's fairly quiet here in the camp considering we're on the eve of a great battle. Decision has to be made. Which army shall I join? Could be the parliamentarians, after all they do win. But I think I'll throw in my lot with the royalists, besieged inside the town. Must be mad. beautiful dawn on the big day was rudely shattered by the reveille, a drummer boy waking his loyal troops to fight in the siege of Colchester. The Dutch courage of the night before meant that for some, the battle seemed lost before it had started. Others rose refreshed, eager to slip into the atmosphere of the event. Authenticity was the rule of the day. Good morrow to you. I am magically transformed into Mistress Goddard, Royalist camp follower. You see, no one can take part in a historical reconstruction unless they're dressed in authentic period costume. No one. And that includes my camera crew. The horses were up first, positively rearing to get on with schooling in the disciplines of a cavalry unit. The Lord General of the Parliamentarian Army had planned every moment of the coming battle according to the history books. The exact placing of each regiment would be critical.
Points, Crawfords, across the field.
The morning was spent on manoeuvres. No one fights without first training. The drummers played out coded instructions to urge each unit forward. The real art of this kind of war is to avoid getting hurt.
We form at 45 degrees when we go on the field. We'll be marching over the bridge.
The officers of Cromwell's army seemed unfairly confident that victory would be theirs.
The idea is we go across in a grand attack, as per usual. Good at it, we will do it. We'll help gentlemen today's fox.
A small arsenal was set up to make tens of thousands of cartridges for the musketeers. Simple paper tubes, each filled with a deadly charge of gunpowder.
All the dressings, dressings, dressings!
As the sky darkened, the musketeers prepared a strategy for keeping their powder dry. Jackie was putting on a brave face.
For the line, column 2! For the column 2! Into line! Left! Turn!
The thought of the bloodshed to come made me feel a little queasy, so I went to visit the 17th century druggist. Good morning, mistress. They tell me you can cure all ills.
I can. Do you suffer from nosebleeds?
Oh, yes.
Right. I have stingy nettles here.
What, shove it up your nose?
I would recommend that you crush it first, and then it won't sting you. And
then
you
put it up your
nose. That's right, yes.
Well, wow.
Do you suffer from freckles?
No, but I could do.
We have here an egg which has been, as you see how bouncy it is, it's been in lemon and vinegar, and after 5 days throw the egg away, and I can sell you some of the liquid. Put it on night and morning and it will get rid of your freckles.
Really? What about wrinkles?
Wrinkles? No, I haven't got a cure for wrinkles.
Oh, drat. I do hope I don't get ill. Like professional actors backstage before a play, everyone seemed to be taking their roles very seriously. A lot of the men turned out to be women, who gave as good as they got. A war correspondent was sketching the battlefield. The Royalist commander felt there was a higher cause which made this worthwhile.
It's very important people know their own local history. And here the English Civil War Society is about to demonstrate the cataclysm which happened to Colchester in 1648. We've drawn up the armies inside the garrison, and there's a rebellious army outside the garrison, and this afternoon we're really going to reenact what happened in those final stages. Not by blocks. We've built some defence works in the original places. The parliamentary forces are going to come over the wall within the constraints of 20th century safety. We're going to make this as an exciting a show as possible for the thousands of members of the public who are watching this afternoon.
As the long march began, so did the rain. the records, 1648 was the coldest, wettest summer ever recorded. The people of the garrison town of Colchester have always been used to seeing soldiers marching through the streets, but nothing quite like this. Very exciting, marching to the beat of the drum. Even if we are soaked. The Mayor of Colchester took the salute, with Dick Barton at his side.
Colchester at this time, we think, had a population of about 9,500, and there would have been several hundred people who would have been killed or disabled by illness. And they did suffer, because as the siege took hold and food started to run out, even cats and dogs and rats were eaten, and even tallow candles made of mutton fat were chewed and eaten for sustenance. And while they're going without food, you must remember that the town was being bombarded by cannonballs, so houses were being destroyed, catching fire from the kitchen fires, so there was a lot of damage at the same time as they were going short of food.
Each regiment declared what they believed the fight was all about. 2 hours after the march began, the final units reached the gates of the battlefield. There was no turning back. The resident commentator, Mad Jack Green, was determined to blacken the names of the enemy with parliamentarian propaganda, until the royalist priest intervened.
Of God is in your purses, farms, houses, and horses. Come to you when you're holding one, raise your daft Englishmen on the front. You fat swine of the earth, you shall be brought low. You put your men, Englishmen on the earth,
The battle's about to start, and women, children and small dogs are not allowed on the battlefield for obvious reasons. So Mina's somewhere safe because she might be frightened by the loud bangs, and also she would have been eaten in those days. So the girls and I have to find somewhere safe to watch while the men do their thing. Out of the cannon smoke emerged a familiar-looking chap. It was Mandy London.
Well, I'm now going to take the field to be behind my regiment, and should there be any casualties, then I will administer first aid to them. But I'm not allowed to go on the field dressed as a woman, so I must now dress as a man.
What sort of casualties are you expecting?
Hopefully none. I hope to have a very boring afternoon.
It's hard to believe that anyone else was having a boring afternoon. In fact, it looked as though they'd all be dead in no time at all. Battle's going. I haven't been to many. In fact, this is my first. It's horrifically realistic. Somewhere out there, my friend Simon was probably having a hard time.
Oh, very good. Beating everyone up. They lost yet. One of the regiments even had their musket block on the back of the pike block to try and push us. They still can't hold us. Excellent.
The battle's not over yet, though.
Oh, hey, thank God for that. Another couple of hours of good smash and then we'll be ready for a beer. A few more ready now. Tell them who you are!
I couldn't help but wonder what the siege must have been like for the real townsfolk and soldiers besieged and bombarded.
It lasted for nearly 11 weeks, which presumably is a testament to the way that the royalists held out. Mind you, remember they had their horses to eat, and it's reckoned that something like 800 horses were eaten during the time of the siege.
Meanwhile, our battle showed no sign of cooling off. The men were still fighting several hours after leaving camp. And some of them had died many times during the afternoon. When push comes to shove, they just can't get enough of it. So long as the drummers kept drumming, nothing would stop them. But it all seems worthwhile, or they wouldn't come back for more each time.
These events are always worthwhile. From a public point of view, there were lots of people watching it. From a personal point of view and a regimental one, excellent. Thoroughly enjoyable. Unfortunately, God wasn't particularly on our side this weekend regarding the weather, but the rest of it's been absolutely fine.
Perhaps the oddest thing was that after all that fighting, everyone was still so friendly.
We're all friends here. I mean, there is no enemy on or off the field, you know. When we get in the pike blocks and you've got a pike up here and you're sort of crushed up like this, you're still saying hello to people as you're trying to shove them on the floor, basically. So it's all fairly well mannered, you know.
As a young girl, I was told it was very bad manners to push. Mind you, I never realised that a battle could be so exciting and such good fun.
It's been great fun meeting all our friends again who we've not seen for ages. Shame about the weather, but today's looking a lot better. It's going to take me about a week to dry everything out, but I wouldn't have missed it for anything.
Everybody always at work goes, what kind of weekend have you had? And I had to sort of explain it to them all, so it's always something to look back on and remember, definitely.
If you see a target, gentlemen, engage it!